you talked about how you're just flying, just going, but at the end of the day, you realized at some point that you were building a company that wasn't necessarily aligned with your macro goal, the building more wealth and the passive income. It's like you're doing a lot of transactions and making money, but you have to keep doing that, right? And you were chasing someone else's dream, and that's a conversation I've had with other folks who've gone the scaling route, and then when they actually get there, we're like, I don't know that I like this. So working with a lot of investors and coaching with a lot of investors, I'm sure that's a short-term goal or maybe even desire for some. But how would you say that most of those investors would answer this question of what do you really want? Do you want to build a big company that has to, it's just blowing and going and doing all kinds of crazy numbers and stuff, but you're also really busy and stressed? Or you want to build a lifestyle business for your family to where if you want to take 3 months off, you can. And maybe you could even do that within the next 5 to 10 years. How do you think most investors would answer that?
I'm not sure how everyone would answer. I think it would probably have a few factors in there. Is it a person that's maybe single or doesn't have a family yet and is really driven? And I think people look at it through different lenses. So I would think that the people that, I don't want to generalize, but probably younger people or single people that don't, that really are trying to prove themselves and maybe get their life going in a certain way, they might answer the scale answer. I think once you get into it for a little while, or you have other responsibilities, you have other time commitments, they start looking at the second option. And what I find that most people over time start wanting to move into that financial and time passive income bucket, right? Where you're not accountable to anything. And, there's a lot of courses and things out there talking about wholesale and how it's the new latest and greatest. Shoot, I remember back when I got started, it's how beginners were supposedly supposed to do it. You're only supposed to make $5,000 and you want to graduate to other things. Now I know most whole flippers are trying to turn into wholesalers. But the funny thing about it is I think people like the sizzle that comes with the steak, but the steak isn't great when you go all the way that route, because wholesaling is essentially a sales and marketing company. And it's a beast that needs to always be eating. And you never get off that treadmill unless you can successfully systematize it and hire out a lot of those processes. And the thing with most investing companies is it is a regional or a local thing for most businesses. And even the most successfully large ones, you run out of capacity at a certain point in each individual market. And you have to keep scaling up your operations over and over again. And if you start losing key people, then you're basically back at square one and you have to reinsert yourself. That's why getting the most passive income I can think of into my, income stream bucket is the most important to me now. And that's really why I've moved more into creative sales and things to kind of avoid costs. So I've been selling all my rentals on land contract to other investors because I don't want to deal with some of the costs that are associated with here in Michigan, as well as just the headache of having a tenant.
Yeah. And I think HGTV is a little default on the how alluring, or is that the right word? How sexy investing and wholesaling or flipping houses appears to, at least to the general public.